See, before beginning for today's lecture content, I just want to quickly recap what we discussed in the last class. Okay. So basically in the last class, we discussed about the details of a term pressure. I told you pressure is a normal force exerted by a fluid, okay, per unit area, that is called as pressure. And we then distinguish between pressure and a normal stress. Basically, if somebody asked you that what is the difference between a normal stress and a pressure, so we can say that both are normal force per unit area, but in case of you can say in case of fluids we term it as pressure, and in case of solids that is a normal stress. And shear stress is possible in both of the cases, in case of fluid body also and in case of you can say solid bodies also, that we had seen. And then we saw different units of pressure. I have told you that SI unit of pressure is Pascal, which is basically Newton per meter square. And I have also told you that pressure is written in various units in different books, various books. So it could be in bars, it could be in megapascal, kilopascal, fine, atmospheric pressure. So you should be able to convert these units among each other, fine. So that I have told you in the last class. Then we discussed about three different type of terms related with pressure. We saw absolute pressure, gauge pressure, and vacuum pressure. So both of all of these three terms are, you can say, relevant relative to you can say you can say relative to a level. Like if I want to calculate absolute pressure, so absolute pressure is calculated with reference to absolute zero pressure. So if you want to calculate pressure at any position with respect to absolute zero pressure, so that is called as absolute pressure, fine. Then we talked about gauge pressure. Gauge pressure, I have told you, if I want to find the pressure at a point which is above atmospheric pressure, and if I want to find that pressure with reference to atmospheric pressure, that is called as gauge pressure. Okay. And if I need to find the pressure at a position which is which is in a condition which is less than atmospheric pressure, and if I'm calculating that pressure with reference to atmospheric pressure, so that is called as vacuum pressure. Okay. Am I audible? I hope I'm audible
Yes,
to all
sir.
of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's what we have discussed about different types of pressure. And then we discussed two laws related with hydrostatics or fluid at rest. So first law we discussed was Pascal law. And in Pascal law, we have seen that basically the statement of Pascal law was that in a static condition, the intensity of pressure at a point is same from all the directions. Okay, if the fluid is at the static condition, so intensity of pressure at a point is same from all the directions. So therefore, we had seen that in the figure also, Px was equal to Py equal to Pz. So that was Pascal law, and I have told you that there are several number of practical applications of Pascal laws are also possible. We solved a numerical problem also, which was related to hydraulic press, and it was you can say it works on the basic principle of Pascal law, where by applying smaller force you can lift a large amount of weight also. That was Pascal law we had discussed. Then we discussed about hydrostatic law. So in hydrostatic law, basically I told you the statement is the rate of increase of pressure in vertical direction is equal to weight density of the fluid. That was the statement. And then we saw the mathematical proof also. That was dp by dz is equals to rho g. That was that we saw the derivation. And then I have told you that there is a very important mathematical expression obtained from hydrostatic law, that is the absolute pressure at a point P is equals to rho g into z. Z was basically the vertical distance from the free surface. So if you need to calculate absolute pressure at a point which is z distance away from the free surface vertically. So if you need to calculate the pressure at that point, absolute pressure at that point, you can use that expression P equal to rho g z. So that was the last topic we discussed in the previous class, and then we solved a couple of problems based on hydrostatic law also. Now, today's class, let us begin with today's lecture content. Okay. Now, as we discussed about pressure in the last class, we should also discuss about what are the ways to measure pressure. Okay, how can you measure pressure? So we have number of instruments, we have number of devices to measure pressure. So one of such devices are called as manometers. So manometers are some kind of devices which are used to calculate pressure. Okay. So what are manometer? Basically, you need to understand. You can read the first line also. This is a device used to measure pressure. Now, how these devices are used to measure pressure? In basically in this device, let's say in this diagram also it has been shown. let's say this is a fluid chamber. Let's say it's a chamber containing some kind of a fluid. Fine. If I want to measure pressure at this point, I will use a setup. I will use an arrangement like this. So in this arrangement, we will try to have a fluid of some known density. So this fluid will be of some known density, and by changing the level of this fluid within some column, within some tube, we will try to calculate pressure. I'll show you how. I'll demonstrate you how it could be done. Just a second. Okay, let's say this is a you can say this is a container. Okay, Krish, are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, what I was discussing is, let's say this is a container which may contain some kind of a fluid. Okay. Now, right now it is empty. Right now this container is empty, and what we have a, you can say it's kind of a manometer arrangement. Fine. Now in this manometer, this level which I have drawn here, this level is called as datum or reference. Okay, this is called as datum or reference. Okay, so using this reference level, what we will do initially, before measuring the pressure, we will have some kind of manometric fluid. There will be some fluid. Okay, why I'm calling it as manometric fluid? Because the fluid which I'm using here, for this fluid, density of this fluid will be known. Okay, I will use such fluid whose density will be known. And initially, before measuring the pressure, I will make this arrangement in such a way, I will maintain the level of this fluid in this tube in such a way that the level in both the columns, this is the, you can say this is a left column and this is right column. So the level of manometric fluid on both the columns should be balanced, should be equal before measuring the fluid. Now what you will do, you will start filling the fluid in this container. If you start filling the fluid in this container, this container will be full of fluid. Fine. So once the fluid is filled, suppose the air is filled or suppose the water is filled in this container, once the air is filled, what will happen? The pressure at this side, see, this is open to atmosphere. This is open to atmosphere. Okay. Now, if you start filling this container with some kind of fluid, so pressure in this case will start rising. So pressure here will be rising. Fine. Now, if the pressure here will be rising, so this fluid, what this fluid will do? This fluid will come over here and it will exert pressure on the manometric fluid. Okay, it will exert a force on the manometric fluid, because of which what will happen? The level of the manometric fluid will change. So what will happen? From this reference line, from this datum line, the manometric fluid may rise, maybe let's say up to a certain height. Let's say this height is h. Fine. So this rise of manometric fluid will be proportional to the applied pressure, whatever the pressure over here. So this rise of manometric fluid in the column will be proportional to the amount of pressure available at this at the left column. Fine. So therefore the pressure will be balanced by the rise of fluid in the manometric tube. Fine. Now if somehow I can find this value of h, if somehow I can find this value of h, I can calculate pressure, because you know pressure from hydrostatic law, you know, P is equals to rho g h. Okay, in the last class we have seen the pressure is equals to rho g h. So what we will do, after filling the, you can say some kind of fluid, this fluid will exert pressure on the previously balanced level. Now when the pressure is applied on the previously balanced level, okay, when the pressure is applied on this balanced level, there will be a rise in the manometric fluid in the right column of the manometric fluid. Fine. So whatever the rise, that will be proportional to the applied pressure. Now if you can know if you can measure by some scale, you can measure the level of h. So using this expression, you can easily calculate the pressure available over here. So that is the basic principle of working of manometers. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
If you are clear about the working principle of manometers, let us move to the previous
Yes,
class.
sir.
Okay. Let us move
Yes,
to
sir.
this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us move to this slide. See, basically, most common type of manometers which are used in industries or in most of the cases is a YouTube type manometer. YouTube manometer, fine. So YouTube manometer are basically
Sir, why datum is used?
datum is used to measure what is the change of you can say column, what is the change of height, or I can say what is the how much is the rise or fall of the liquid in the channel, because the pressure will be proportional to this H. Okay. However, whatever the rise of liquid in this column, that will be proportional to H. Fine. That will be H, and it is proportional to the pressure available here. Fine. So datum, see, whenever you are measuring, you should have some relative points that before the pressure rise or before filling the liquid, this was the level. After filling the liquid, this is the level. So what is the difference? That difference will be proportional to the pressure. Getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is why we need
Yes,
to
sir.
have some reference that before exerting the pressure, before having the actual pressure, it was balanced. So this was the level, fine. And after exerting the pressure, the level will change. So what is the change in level? So that will be the value of H. And you know, H will be used to calculate pressure. Pressure is equals to rho gh from hydrostatic law. So that is why it is very much important to have a reference line. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. See, now we'll try to see how to balance these things on a YouTube manometer. What is the mathematics? See, working physical concept, physical principle. I have told you how does a manometer work. Let's see the mathematics beyond the calculation, behind the calculation of this manometers. So for that, you need to understand there are, see, this diagram have been used for, you can say, explaining these things. So let us try to understand the terms which we are going to use. Fine. So this is the position where I need to measure pressure in this tank B. At this point B, I want to measure pressure. Fine. So what I will do, I will attach a YouTube manometer with this B. So I will attach a YouTube manometer with this B. Now, when I attach this YouTube manometer here, I need a reference line. So you can draw this reference line anywhere. You can draw this reference line here also. You can draw this reference line here also. Right? So anywhere at any point, you can draw this reference line. Let's say this is the reference line AA here in this case. Okay. Let me erase these things. So we have this reference line AA. Now with this reference line, we will see when the fluid is filled here. When the fluid is filled in this tank B, this fluid will exert some kind of pressure on this manometric fluid. See, manometric fluid have been shown by these solid lines. There is a solid shade. That is the manometric fluid, and these dotted lines are some fluid. Okay, it's kind of a fluid whose pressure is you can say supposed to be calculated. Fine. So this is a manometric fluid over here in the manometer. Now, what we'll try to do is we will try to find the pressure of the position B. Okay. So see how we will do it. We will try to balance the pressure on the left side of the column with the pressure on the right side of the column. Okay. So whatever the pressure on the left side of the column should be equal to the pressure on the right side of the column. Why? Because see, because after exerting the pressure, there is a rise in the tube. Fine. So this rise will be equal to the pressure. So therefore, the pressure should be balanced in this manometric tube. Fine. So we will try to write an expression where the pressure on the left side of the column should be equal to pressure on the right side of the column. Okay. So we'll try to see how the pressure should be same, or how can I write that expression. See, now here it has been written, keep pressure on the left column above the datum line. So above the datum line, what is the pressure on the left column? This is the left column right now. Okay. So on this left column, if you remember in the last class, we have solved a numerical problem. There was a solved example we saw in which there was a tank and there were two fluids. There was a oil and water. Okay, for both of the fluids, we calculated pressure. So when we need to calculate pressure, we were adding rho gh for water plus rho gh for oil. So here also we are going to do the same thing. Yes, here also we are going to do the same thing. If I need to calculate pressure at this right side of the, you can say, manometer, what we are doing, see, this is at this side, let's say there is some unknown pressure P is there inside the chamber. Fine. So the same pressure will be here also, because Pascal law, okay, whatever the pressure, this is a static fluid. So if the pressure P is here, the same pressure will be here also. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on this side, there will be a pressure P. Now, see what is happening here. There is, it should be like this manometric fluid should be filled up to this position, let's say. Okay, there is some problem in the diagram. So let's say this manometric fluid will be filled up to this height. Fine. So what will be the pressure at this point due to manometric fluid? It is rho GH1. Okay, let's say the density of this manometric fluid is rho 1. Okay, it is mentioned here also. The density of the manometric fluid is, let's say, rho 1. Okay. I think the diagram, there is a problem with this diagram. I have taken this diagram from the book, but let me explain you how the diagram is wrong. Fine. I have told you that initially before filling the fluid, initially the level of the you can say manometric fluid should be like here. Okay, but in the diagram already the manometric fluid have been shown here. So this is something wrong. The manometric fluid should not be here. Up to this point, this is the fluid whose which is filled in the tank. Okay, so up to this point, this is the same fluid which is filled in the tank. Therefore, I can say on the right limb in here, the density of this fluid is rho. Okay, here it is also shown the density of the liquid whose pressure you are supposed to calculate, that is rho 1. Fine. So this is not a manometric fluid here. Okay, just make it clear. This diagram is a little wrong. So this is the fluid which is filled in the tank up to this level. Okay, so up to this level, this is the this is the liquid which is filled inside the tank, and the density of that liquid is rho 1. Let's say the density of this liquid is rho 1, which is filled in the tank. Fine. So there are two pressures acting on this column. First is a P, unknown pressure P. Okay, and second one, because there is some kind of fluid filled in this column. Fine. So there is a pressure, hydrostatic law, rho GH. Fine. So the density of this liquid is rho 1. Okay, G into height is H1. So P plus rho 1 G into H1. So this is the total pressure on the left side of the column. The total pressure on the left side of the column is P plus rho 1. Rho 1 is the density of the fluid which is present in this side, into G into H1. H1 is the height from the reference line. Any doubts with this?
No, sir.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, there was a slight problem with the diagram. Therefore, I have explained this level should not, this is not a manometric fluid. Manometric fluid will be limited up to this location only. This is the same fluid which is there in the tank. Okay, that is the only problem. Now, let's see the pressure on the right side of the column. Okay, now the pressure on the right side of the column, pressure above the datum line to the right of the column. So, to the right of the column, see, to the right of the column, we have only this manometric fluid. Okay, there is no other fluid is there. So we have only the manometric fluid. And you know the density of the manometric fluid is assumed to be rho 2. Okay, density of the manometric fluid is rho 2. Fine. So the pressure at this datum point or pressure at the reference line due to this fluid is again hydrostatic law, rho GH. Fine. So it will be rho 2 G into H2. So this is the pressure on the right side. This is the pressure on the left side. And you know this is balanced. This condition is balanced. It is in the equilibrium. So I can say the pressure on the left side is equals to pressure on the right side. And you know the densities are known, densities of the fluids are known. So unknown pressure you can easily calculate. Our task here is to calculate the value of P, and value of P is the pressure inside the tank. So what will be the value of P? That will be rho GH2 minus, rho 2 GH2 minus rho 1 GH1. So this is the expression you can derive. So see, this is a general procedure. Whenever you have a manometer question of a manometer, always try to balance the pressure between the two columns. Always try to balance the pressure between the two columns. If the pressure of right side and left side are equal, you can easily solve the question. It's just like when you balance the forces. So when you balance the, you can say vertical force and horizontal force, it is also like that. We are balancing the pressure on the right side and left side, and you can calculate the unknown quantity. Am I clear? We will see it with the
Yes,
with the help of examples. I have examples in the, you can say, following slides. Let's see. Like this is one of the question. Let's try to read this question. In this question, it has been written that the right limb of a simple U-tube manometer. Okay, this is a simple U-tube manometer, and this is the container. This is the tank where the pressure could be, you can say, expected to be found. Fine. So right limb of a U-tube manometer contains mercury. And it is open to the atmosphere. So this is right limb right now. Okay, this is right limb. So this manometric fluid is mercury. It is given in the question. It is mercury. Okay, the right limb is containing mercury, and then it is open to atmosphere. See, it is open to atmosphere, while the left limb is connected to a pipe. Left limb is connected to a pipe which is having a fluid of specific gravity 0.9. So this limb, the left limb is connected to a pipe. This is a pipe. Okay. So I want to calculate the pressure inside the pipe. So what I have done, I have connected a U-tube manometer with this pipe. Okay. And this pipe is having fluid. In this pipe, there is a fluid of specific gravity 0.9. Okay. Now, the center of pipe is 12 centimeter below the mercury in the right limb. Okay. So this is the mercury, and it is saying that if this is the center of the pipe, so the center of pipe is 12 centimeter below. So below from the mercury level in the right limb. This is the right level of mercury from the right limb. So from right limb, 12 centimeter below, this is the center of pipe. Okay, that is given here. And find the pressure of fluid. Find the pressure of fluid if the difference of the mercury level between the two limbs is 20 centimeter. You can easily try to understand this statement. It is giving us the difference of the level of mercury in between the two limbs. You know, this is the right portion and this is the left portion. So it is telling you that the difference between these two level is 20 centimeter. So you can clearly see this is the H value, which is given 20 centimeter. From datum, the rise of mercury is 20 centimeter. Okay. So these are the things given to us. Let us try to make a list of whatever the things given to us. In the first line, nothing is given. Second line, specific gravity of the fluid is given 0.9. Third line, you can say height of the center or position of the center, location of the center with respect to the level of mercury is given, that is 12 centimeter. Then yes, the value of H is given. Okay, value of H is given 20 centimeter. Okay.
H2.
H2, let's say it has denoted with help of notations. You can take it on your own also. Let's say it is H2. Why it is taken H2? Because it will take this as H1. Okay, on the you can say left side, the level of this liquid from the datum surface or from the reference line will be H1, not H2. It will be H1. Okay. So what we are supposed to just leave the solution. Okay, don't focus on the solution. What we are supposed to do, we are supposed to we are supposed to balance the pressure on left side and right side. Okay, right side, you know, the pressure is the equation of pressure will be very simple. It is only mercury over here, so it will be density of mercury into G into H2. Okay, that will be the on the right side. But what is there in the left side? The density of this fluid which is present over here, because that is the only fluid which has been shown here. Density of this fluid into G into H1 plus there could be some kind of pressure. There could be some kind of pressure within the tank. Okay, so this pressure is also there. So what we need to write is on the left side, this is the equation P plus rho 1 GH1. Okay, rho 1, it is taking the density of this fluid, rho 1 G into H1. H1 will be this height. And from the diagram, from the geometry of this diagram, you can see what is the value of H1? 20 minus 12. This is the value of H1. The whole is 20. This one is 12. So you can easily find this distance is 20 minus 12, that is 8. Fine. So you can easily find that the net pressure on the left side is P plus rho 1 G into H1. And similarly, the pressure on the right side will be rho 2 G into H2. Now here, everything is known except P. So substitute all the values. See, density, instead of density, specific gravity is known, given. So I know you can convert specific gravity into density. Okay, specific gravity into density of the water. Fine. So 0.9 into density of water is 1000. So it will be 900 kg per meter cube. So density of this fluid is 900. Fine. That is simply put here P plus 900 into 9.81. And what is the height of fluid in this in this left side is we have seen 20 minus 12, that is 8 centimeter, and 8 centimeter is converted into meters. So it will be 0.08 meter. That will be equal to rho 2. Now rho 2, see the this side rho 2, the fluid here is mercury. And what is the density of mercury? Okay, always remember, I think it is not given in the question also. For mercury, you have to remember the density of mercury will be 13600. Okay, 13. Or you can write, remember the specific gravity of mercury, 13.6. Okay, so from 13.6, you can calculate the density of mercury to be 13600. Okay, so that is the density of mercury. Put it over here. Okay, this is the density of mercury into G into H, height of this fluid in this column. So it is 20 centimeter. 20 centimeter in meters, it is 0.2. Fine. So if you simplify this whole question, you will get the pressure inside the pipe at the center of the pipe is 2.597, or in SI units it is 25977 Newton per meter square. So this is the pressure at this point in the pipe. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a simple question based on YouTube manometer.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please explain the unit conversion?
Unit conversion for pressure or for what?
Sir, Newton per centimeter square.
Acha, acha, Newton per centimeter square. Okay, no problem. See what we are doing here. Right now it is Newton per meter square. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to convert this meter into centimeter. You know, in 1 meter there are 100 centimeters. So it will be 100 centimeter. In 1 meter there is 100 centimeter, but it is a square. So we will take the square here. Okay.
Okay.
So 100 square will be
10 to the power minus
10 to the power 4. So it will become Newton divided by 10 to the power 4, or I can say 100 square is 10 to the power 4, simply centimeter square. Okay. So now what we need to do, whatever the answer came here, we need to divide this answer with 10 to the power 4. Fine. So that has been done here. So 10 to the power 4, if you divide this answer by 10 to the power 4, it will become 2.597. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We just converted meter into centimeter, and then we have taken, since it was a square, so we have taken a square, and the 10 to the power 4 was on the denominator. So we need to divide this number with 10 to the power 4. As simple as that. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Again, this is the same kind of question. So I would want you to solve the same. See, again, you need to measure the pressure. See, on this in this particular question, on the right side there is no rise. The mercury has not rise. So that means what happened? Mercury has rise to this side. So the pressure on this side will be 0. Pressure on the right side will be 0. That has been done here. Fine. You need to find the pressure on the left side. So I expect you to solve it. See, I'll just tell you how you can solve it. I'm not going into the detail of the question. I'm just telling you. See, on this right side, what we are doing, what kind of pressures we have. Like one pressure, we have the pressure of the whatever the tank here, P, then the pressure of this liquid, and then pressure of this manometric fluid. Fine. So there are 3 pressures, P plus pressure of this liquid and pressure of this liquid. Fine. So there are 3 pressures, P, pressure of this liquid, let's say rho 2 GH2, and pressure of the manometric fluid rho 1 GH1. Fine. And on the right side, there is no fluid, there is no rise on the fluid above datum. So pressure on the right side is 0. So from here you can easily calculate the value of P. Okay. So I'm not going into the detail of this question. You just read the question first, try to figure out whatever the values are given, try to see some unit conversions and try to solve that. I've just tell you that how to balance the pressure in both sides. Okay. So any questions based on manometer, you just need to balance the pressure on both sides of the column, right side of the column and left side of the column. Okay. So moving to the next slide. Again, see, last was a simple YouTube manometer. Previously, we have done whatever the questions these are called as simple YouTube manometer. And next we are going to do the differential YouTube manometer, differential manometer. Now, basic difference between simple manometer and differential manometer is, in simple manometer, one side of the column is always open to atmosphere. One side is connected with the tank and the other side is connected with, is open to atmosphere. So such type of manometers are called as simple manometer. But what happens in differential manometer, none of the side is open to atmosphere. Both the sides are connected to liquid container. Okay, both sides are connected to the liquid container. So that is the basic difference between differential manometer and simple manometer. Now, as the name suggests, differential manometer. So in this case, see, manometers are used to measure pressure. Okay, simple manometer was used to measure pressure. But differential manometers, using differential manometer, you can measure the pressure difference. let's say these are the two different tanks. Okay, these are the two different pipe, let's say at different height. So if I want to measure pressure difference between these two pipes, I can measure the pressure difference also. PA minus PB I can find. So using differential manometers, we can find the pressure difference. Okay. So what we can do, there are two types of differential manometers, U-tube differential manometer and inverted U-tube differential manometer. So basically U-tube differential manometer are used to find the pressure difference where the pressure difference is significantly high. Whenever the pressure difference is high, you can use U-tube differential manometer. But if the pressure difference is not very significant, it's a very low pressure difference between the pressure is very less. Okay, so I can say I cannot use U-tube manometer because U-tube differential manometer cannot find that small difference. So for small difference in pressure, we are using inverted U-tube differential manometer. Okay, so this could be a question in your objective questions also, that if we have a small difference in the pressure, which manometer will you will use? Simple manometer, U-tube manometer, or inverted U-tube manometer? So correct answer will be inverted U-tube manometer, because inverted U-tube differential manometer are used to find the pressure difference wherever the pressure difference is low. Okay. So this is the, you can say, kind of a question that can be asked here. Now, again, in case of differential manometer, the basic funda is same, basic principle is same. If we are having differential manometer, what we are going to do, we are going to balance the pressure on right side and left side. We are going to balance the pressure on left side as well as pressure on the right side. Right? Like in this figure, if I want to find the pressure difference, I will try to balance the pressure on both sides of the column. Okay. Let's see how it will be done. Okay. Let's say in this tank A, the fluid which is filled, the density of that fluid in the tank A is rho 1. Density of the fluid in tank A is rho 1. Density of the fluid in tank B is rho 2. Okay. And density of the, you can say, manometric fluid. Density of the manometric fluid is rho G. Okay. So that has been taken. Now there are certain, you can say, units of distance is also taken. Fine. So from this level, the center of A will be at a distance of X. From this level, center of B is at a distance of Y. And the difference between the manometric fluid is, the level of the manometric fluid is H. So that has been given here. Now let us try to balance the pressure on left and right side. Okay. So if I want to balance the pressure on left and right side, let's see how we can do. So pressure on the left of the limb, left side means this side. So pressure, you tell me what will be the pressure on this left side? What will be the pressure on this left side? Tell me, anyone? Any idea? Okay. Okay, let's see what we were discussing here. I wanted you to answer this question, that what will be the pressure on the left side? Anyone?
A, we
Yes.
added O, G, X plus H.
Yeah, correct. So that's correct. PA, the pressure on the A side. Okay. So what I can do over here is, see, let's the pressure on inside the container is PA, okay, and you know the density of this liquid is rho 1, okay. So on the left side, the pressure will be PA plus the pressure due to this height of the liquid. So pressure due to height of this liquid is rho 1 into G into height of this liquid. Height of this liquid in this column will be X plus H. So from the reference line, from the datum, the height is X plus H. So rho 1 into G into X plus H plus PA. So that is the pressure on the left side of the column, PA plus rho 1 G H plus X. Okay, simple. Then if I want to calculate pressure on the right side of the limb, so pressure on the right side of the limb, if the pressure inside the tank is PB, okay, if the pressure inside the tank is PB, what will be the pressure on the right side? One will be PB plus pressure due to this much column and pressure due to this much column. Okay, pressure due to this column and pressure due to this column plus PB. So how can I write this thing? I can very simply write this thing, PB plus pressure due to this column. So you know the liquid in this column is rho 2, the density of the liquid in this column is rho 2. So it will be rho 2 G into height of this liquid in this column, rho 2 G into Y. Okay, so rho 2 G into Y. Pressure on the you can say right side of the limb will be PB plus rho 2 G into Y plus the density of this fluid. This is a manometric fluid, so density of the manometric fluid I have assumed to be rho G G into H. That is the pressure due to this mercury. Okay, so these are the pressure on the right side of the limb. Now to balance this case, the pressure on the left should be equal to pressure on the right. So that equation have been made here. Only see, now in this case, in this particular case, I have told you that in differential manometers we are finding pressure difference. We are not finding absolute pressure, but we are finding pressure difference. So what we need to find? We need to find PA minus PB. Okay, we need to obtain PA minus PB. So here PA from this side and PB from this side. These things are arranged in such a way that PB will be taken here. Okay, so it will become PA minus PB, and all this quantity will be taken that side of this equation. So I can say PA minus PB will be equal to this quantity. So there are certain mathematical simplification have been done. Okay, you need not to remember the result. Okay, I don't expect you to remember the result. You just try to remember ki what is the procedure. How can you find the pressure on the right side, pressure on the left side, and just try to balance them. Okay, no one is expecting you to remember the result. Right? So if it is clear, can we move to the solution, solved question sum, or any doubts? Okay, just for the, you can say just for the people who have joined late, let me just revise this whole concept again. Again, since we are using this differential manometer, and I have told you differential manometer is used to find the pressure difference between the two sides. So let's say pressure at this side is PA and pressure at this side is PB. Okay, I want to find pressure difference between PA and PB. So I want to find PA minus PB. I will use differential manometer. Now, how to find this pressure difference? Same as simple manometer, we will find the pressure on the left side and we will equate it with the pressure on the right side. Now, pressure on the left side will be pressure due to A, PA plus pressure due to this column. Okay, so pressure due to this column can be calculated using hydrostatic law, rho GH. So the density of this fluid is assumed to be rho 1 into G into, now height of this column is X plus H. Okay, so total height of this column above the reference is X plus H. So the pressure on the left limb is this thing. Okay, similarly, if I want to calculate pressure on the right limb, so one pressure is absolute pressure PB of this tank, then pressure due to this much column, and then pressure due to this much column. Fine. So we'll add all three of them. So PB plus pressure due to this column. So this column, the liquid density is rho 2. So rho 2 G into height of this liquid is Y. Fine. So rho 2 G into Y plus pressure due to this column. So the density of this liquid is rho G. Density of this liquid is rho G plus G into height of this liquid is H. Fine. So this is the pressure on left side. This is the pressure on right side, and if you equate them, you will get the pressure difference in this way. So this is a mathematical expression. Okay, no need to remember this expression. We can simply follow the procedure to obtain the pressure difference. So once it is known, let us move to the solved question. Let's say this is one question given to us. Now in this question, it has been given, there is a pipe which is containing a fluid having specific gravity 0.9. Okay. So the fluid is having a the pipe is having fluid of specific gravity 0.9, and a differential manometer is connected at two locations in the pipe. Okay, this differential manometer is connected at two locations in this pipe. Let's see, sorry. So let's say this is a pipe. This is the pipe I have shown you with the black, bold black line. So this is a pipe. In this pipe, there are two locations, location A and location B. Okay. Somebody want to find the pressure difference between these 2 points in the same pipe. Okay. Now, in this case, the manometer is used. In this case, the water is flowing through the pipe. And you know, whenever there is a water flow, whenever there is a liquid flow, liquid always flow from high pressure to low pressure. You know, whenever there is a pressure difference, liquid always flow from high pressure to low pressure. So what will happen? We expect if the liquid is flowing in this direction, so the pressure will be high at A and pressure will be low at B. I don't see, this is not given in the question. I'm just telling you the basic concept. Let's say if this is a pipe and we have attached a differential manometer to find the pressure difference between 2 points in a pipe. So we have attached the differential manometer here. Fine. Now what is happening after attaching the differential manometer? You have seen that the level of mercury in the manometer has changed. So that means the mercury has risen in the right side. That means pressure on the left side was greater. Therefore, to balance this pressure, the mercury has risen. Okay. So that is what I can you can say find, or I can observe from this whole situation, that the liquid must be flowing in this direction. Okay. Pressure at this point is high and pressure at this point is low. Now that's not the discussion here. We are not going to discuss this thing. The discussion basically over here is we need to find the pressure difference between the 2 points. So how I can do that? Okay. From the previous discussions also, we can easily see the basic concept for manometer is we are going to balance the pressure on left side and we are going to balance the pressure on right side again. So again, if I see the pressure on the right side, okay, pressure on the right side means this side. So pressure on the right side will be pressure in the tank PB, pressure in the tank PB plus pressure due to this column and pressure due to this column. Okay, so simply PB, okay, plus pressure due to this column. So this column, this is the fluid which is filled in the pipe. Okay, so I need to find the pressure due to this column. You know, hydrostatic law, rho GH. So rho will be the density of this fluid. How much is the density of this fluid? Anyone can answer? What is the density of this fluid? Yes. See, density of this fluid is same as the density which is there in the pipe, and you know the fluid is having specific gravity 0.9. So what will be the density of this fluid? Is it difficult? Am I audible to anyone?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me what is the pressure, what is the density of this fluid which is available here? Okay. You can answer me. I think I have unmuted everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. See, what I'm asking is on this right side, pressure will be PB plus pressure due to this much column. Okay. So pressure due to this much column will be rho GH, hydrostatic law. Fine. Now, what will be the value of this rho? What is the density?
900 over.
900, correct. 900 into G into H. H will be this much height. So height is given X. Okay. Height is given X only. And similarly, the pressure due to this column. So pressure due to this column means density of this fluid into G into H. And it has been given the manometric fluid is mercury. So just I have told you in the previous question also, the mercury density is 13600. So, yes.
Yes, sir. 13,600.
Yes. Okay. So this will be rho GH, the pressure in this column. Fine. So this is the pressure on the right side. Now, what is the pressure on the left side? Only one fluid is there, this fluid. So PA, one pressure is PA plus rho GH. So density of this fluid, again, the density of this fluid is again 900. So PA plus 900 G into, now height of this fluid. Height of this fluid will be X plus H. Total, this is X, this is H. So height of this fluid in this column is X plus H. So that has been written here, rho 1 G into H plus X. This is the pressure on the left side, pressure on the right side. If you equate both of them, you will get this type of expression. And you know, in the question, it has been asked to find the difference of pressure. So difference of pressure means PA minus PB. You need to find PA minus PB. You just take PA and PB to one side. Sorry. Any doubts? Okay, no problem. So see, we need to find the difference in pressure. So we will take PA and PB to one side. So it will become PA minus PB, and remaining of the terms to other side. Okay. So this is the expression which we are using. Okay, this is the derivation of the expression. There is no need to derive the expression, but if you see, that is the same expression used here also. Okay, I'm not telling you to remember these expressions. If the numerical came, you just do the little derivation. You just balance the pressure and just substitute the values here. Okay, there is no X in the expression. When you simplify this expression, X will get cancelled. So this is the expression here. So in this expression, GH, rho G and rho 1 is known. Rho G is the density of mercury, that is 13600. Density of fluid is 900. So you can easily find the pressure difference. You should able to derive the relation. Okay, you should be able to calculate or find the relation, and relation can be found easily by balancing the pressure on both sides. As simple as that. Am I clear? It is little tricky. You need to practice more questions. Okay, let's try to solve one more question if I have. Okay, this is one more question given. Now in this question again, it is a differential manometer which is connected to 2 points A and B of 2 pipes. Okay, now in this question, what has been given? Instead of a common pipe, there are 2 different pipes. This is pipe A, this is pipe B. So somebody wants to find the pressure difference between these 2 pipes. Okay, so he has attached a differential manometer on between these 2 pipes. Okay, now what has been done in this question is pipe A contains a liquid which is having specific gravity of 1.5. Okay, pipe A contains a liquid of having specific gravity 1.5, and pipe B contains a liquid which is having specific gravity of 0.9. Now values of pressure between pressure are given as A and B. So pressure at A is given 1 kilogram force per centimeter square. Now see, again, the unit of pressure is not SI unit. Therefore, I have told you that you need to understand the units also. Fine. So it has been given pressure at A is 1 kilogram force per centimeter square, and pressure at B is given 1.8 kilogram force per centimeter square. You should understand what is kilogram force. Does anybody know what is kilogram force and how to convert it into Newton? If I have 1 kilogram force, so that will be equal to 1 into 9.8. Okay, 1 into 9.8 Newton. So 1 kilogram force equal to 9.8 Newton. Right? So see, pressure is Newton per meter square. That is why I am converting kilogram force into Newton. So 1 kilogram force is 9.8 Newton. Right? Now centimeter square. I hope you can convert centimeter square into meter square. Okay, you just need to divide by 100. So 1 by 100 square. So 1 kilogram force, 1 kgf per centimeter square will be equal to how many Newton per meter square? So kilogram force, 1 kilogram force will be equal to 9.8 Newton. 9.8 Newton. Okay, divide by centimeter square. So centimeter is how many meters? 10 to the power minus 2. 1 centimeter is 10 to the power minus 2 meter. And since it's a square, so it will become minus 4 meter square. Okay, now I have converted 1 kilogram force per centimeter square is equals to 9.8 divided by 10 to the power minus 4 Newton per meter square. Okay, So that is how you can convert. That is how you can convert pressure in such a way. Here also it has been done like this only. See, 9.81 into 10 to the power 4. If you see this 10 to the power minus 4, if it goes up, it will become 10 to the power 4. Fine. So 1 kilogram force is converted into like this in Newton per meter square. बेटा किसी का डिस्टरबेंस आ रहा है यार आवाज का. Okay, done. So I hope you can understand the how to convert kilogram force per centimeter square into Newton per meter square. Fine. So 1 kilogram force equal to 9.8 Newton and centimeter square is converted into meter square. So if it is known, let us come back to the question. The question is, I need to find what will be the rise of mercury here. Right? In the question, it has been given, find the difference in the mercury level. Okay, difference in the mercury level means what is the difference in the mercury level from the reference. Okay, so from reference, if I need to find the difference, I need to find the value of H. Let's see how I can do this. Again, the basic funda is same. Whenever the manometer question is there, you just try to balance the pressure on the right and left side. So if you want to balance the pressure on the left side, what I need to do, left side is this one. So pressure at A, PA, okay, I think it has not written here. Okay, PA plus pressure of this column. Pressure of this column will be rho GH. Now density of A, density of fluid in A is, see that specific gravity is given 1.5. So density will be 1500. Okay, so 1500 into G into H. H will be, what is the height of this column? 3 plus 2, 5. Okay, so that is what written here. The density of this liquid 1500 into 9.8 into H, rho GH. This is rho GH. Sure, jiska class hai, they can leave. Those who are having class at 2, they can leave. Fine. Let me just finish this question. Okay. So density of this liquid rho into G into H. H is 3 plus 2. This is height is 3 plus 2. Okay, so 5. Now plus the pressure due to this much column. So pressure due to this much column, again hydrostatic law, rho GH. So density of mercury, you know, 13.6 into 1000 into G, and H is unknown. So we will write H as it is. Okay. But PA is known. You know the value of PA is this one, which is given in the question, 1 kilogram force per centimeter square. So we are converted into Newton per meter square. So that is the pressure on the, you can say left side. Similarly, we can find the pressure on the right side. Now pressure on the right side, so that will be pressure of B, PB plus pressure of this column. Okay. It is simple, PB plus pressure of this column will be rho GH again. So density of fluid in this side. So density of fluid in this side is, specific gravity is 0.9. So density will be 900. So 900 rho G. Now H, what is the height of the liquid in this column? Try to see the height. Let me erase these drawings. What will be the height of fluid in this column? Can anyone answer?
H.
H plus 2, yes, correct. Okay, H plus 2, yeah, 2 plus H. So that will be the height of liquid in this column. So rho GH plus PB. Okay, this is the value of PB. Okay, so we'll try to balance both of them. If you equate both of them, right and left side. So this is the, you can say, this is left side, this is right side. If you balance, everything is known except H. So you can simplify this thing for finding the value of H. So value of H ultimately will come to be in terms of centimeter and in terms of meter. This is the result. So it's a quite of a lengthy question, but the basic principle, which I'm again reiterating this concept, the basic principle of manometer is still the same. You just need to balance the pressure on left and right side of the column. If you can balance the pressure between both the columns, you can easily solve any question based on manometers. Am I clear? Any doubts so far in this question or in this concept? You can ask me the doubts. No doubts? Okay.
Sure.
Now next is inverted U-tube. Last was a differential manometer. It's an inverted U-tube differential manometer. I have told you inverted manometers are used only where the pressure difference is very low. Okay? If the pressure difference is low, then you can use manometer. Okay? It is written over here also. It is used to measure the pressure where the difference between the pressure is very low. Okay? So we are using inverted differential manometer wherever the pressure difference is low. Now, what is the, again, this whole procedure is still same. In this case, instead of the manometer to be on the bottom side, it will be on the top side, or this is the location where I want to find the pressure difference. Now, this is the reference line. Okay, this is the reference line here. So from this reference line, again, I will try to balance the pressure on right side and left side, or left side and right side. So again, let's see what I can do. Now only slight difference is there is, suppose if I want to balance the pressure on the left side, let's say this is the left side. So pressure at A, earlier what we were doing, we were adding. Okay, in this case we will subtract. So pressure at A minus rho GH. Why we are subtracting? Because this column, this liquid which is there in this column, okay, pressure at A will be here. Okay, so this pressure is exerted to upside. The pressure is exerted. See, this fluid is exerting pressure to this mercury on the upside, but rho GH, this is the weight which is acting downwards. Okay, pressure at A, pressure of the fluid A is exerted upward, but the density, the weight of the fluid in this column is acting downwards. Fine. So therefore, we need to subtract. In this case, PA plus what was happening in the previous case? In the previous case, the pressure was also downward. In the previous case, pressure was also downward, and you can say weight was also downward. So we were adding. In this case, pressure was also downward. Okay, and the weight was also downward. So we were adding both of them. But in this case, what we are having pressure upward and weight downward. So therefore, pressure PA minus rho 1 G into H1, rho 1 G into H1. And if you go to the right side, PB minus rho GH of this side minus rho GH of this side. So PB minus rho 2 GH2 minus density of manometric fluid into J into height. Right? Therefore, we need to subtract these quantities rho GH from the pressure because the weight is acting downwards. So if you you can say equate both of them, you can find the pressure difference PA minus PB. Am I clear? So the whole concept is same, only you need to subtract in this case because the weight and pressure are acting opposite to each other. Okay. Now this is one question given in the same concept. Fine. So again, on the left side, I'm just not going into the detail. You just can see on the left side. This is left side. So PA minus rho GH of this side. Okay. So PA minus the density. See, it's water. It is saying density of water into G into. Now this should not be zero. Please make it correct. This is a printing error. The height is 30 centimeter. No? So 30 centimeter is what? How many meters? 0.3 meters. So it will be it should be 0.3 meter. So PA minus rho G into 0.3. So if you solve this 1000 into 9.81 into 0.3, so you will get 2943. Right? So on the left side, it is PA minus rho G H of this side. On right side, again, what we will get PB minus this much column minus this much column. Okay, so PB minus 1000 into 9.81 into again 30 centimeter, it will 0.3 minus this side again the density of manometric fluid, specific gravity is 0.8, so density will be 100 into G into height of this column. Now what is the height of this column? Total height is 50, 30 plus 20, and this height is 30. So 50 minus 30 is 20. So height of this column is 20 centimeter. 20 centimeter is 0.2. Again, if you equate both of them, you will get PA minus PB to be this answer. Okay. So same concept is there, only difference is that the pressure and weight is exerting opposite to each other. That is the only difference. So this was the last slide, and this was the conclusion of manometers only. Any doubts? You're invited to ask your doubts.